Now on CoastTV News.
Double the demolition.
It's unbelievable to see it all coming down.
Even more in Rehoboth Beach, reduced to rubble.
Clear space change.
An opportunity for people to expand their horizons.
The local theater could move out of Rehoboth entirely.
Springfest surge. Ocean City is buzzing as Springfest marks its 34th year.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
More space for clear space. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with the Performing Arts Center looking to expand and maybe even potentially move out of Rehoboth Beach.
The Clear Space Theater Company has been on Baltimore Avenue since 2004. Clear Space has tried to move before, but faced opposition from neighbors and a drawn-out application process with the city. That resulted in a lawsuit. And now the theater may move out of Rehoboth entirely. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken is live in Rehoboth Beach. And Emma, the theater is considering space in Lewis.
Maddie, the theater's presentation to council today focused on a market study. It's down to two options. They either want to move to a new Rehoboth location or build a new theater in Lewis. Regardless, a brand new performing arts center will be built here in Sussex County. The Clear Space Theater Company in Rehoboth Beach, but in Lewis.
Yay, clear space.
Renee Michelson and Susan Rogers are excited that the theater is even considering the first town in the first state.
An opportunity for people to expand their horizons, to see new things, to enjoy a medium that doesn't currently exist here. It would be, I think for Lewis, it would be fabulous.
Where in downtown Lewis or elsewhere in Rehoboth Clear Space would go is to be determined, but one way or another, Managing Director Joe Fowler says they need more space.
I think that Clear Space, having seen dramatic growth and engagement in our audiences, we have much more demand than we have supply currently based on the confines of our existing facility.
He said a theater could greatly benefit Lewis's economy, but said that either location they go will be very suitable.
We're trying to be very thoughtful about what this region is going to need, not just tomorrow or in 5 years, but in 25 or 35 years, because what we build, we're going to build to be sustainable for the long term.
Whether it re-rises in Rehoboth or finds a stage in Lewis, Clear Space is ready to set the scene for a brighter cultural future. Clear Space says that about a third of their patrons come from out of state each year, often grabbing a bite to eat after their theater experience, which helps boost the city's economy. The theater says the Rehoboth Beach economy is boosted $1 million directly from the theater. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Thank you, Emma. And Clear Space's presentation in Lewis today comes just a few years after Clear Space tried to build a new theater on Rehoboth Avenue on the land you see on your screen. It was 4 years of back and forth with city over approvals and denials and reversals of decisions. Clear Space even filed a lawsuit that was eventually dropped, and so were the plans for that new theater on that space there on the avenue.
Here's where Clear Space was planning to build its new theater at the top of the avenue after Clear Space sold the lot. Plans for mixed use have been proposed. This brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's the best location for Clear Space?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. 43% still say Rehoboth Beach, now 42. 28% say Lewis. Bethany, Georgetown, and elsewhere getting some of the votes.
And it looks like we have a comment. This is Rob Klein of Rehoboth Beach, says, quote, somewhere on or near Route 1 Coastal Highway, so there's adequate parking, unquote.
If you haven't voted yet, you can definitely still do that. We also want to hear from the elsewhere voters. Yeah. Where do you guys want to see
Where
it?
do you
Let
want to
us
see
know.
that go? We will show you updated results on Coast TV News at 11.
Staying in Lewis, a controversial development is moving forward. The preliminary site plan for the proposed Overfall Preserve got approval from council today. The site for the 90 townhome project is off Savannah Road. Preliminary site plans have it sharing an exit with the nearby Dutchman's Harvest workforce housing neighborhood. The plan was approved with a list of conditions recommended by the Planning Commission. Neighbors we spoke with had mixed opinions.
Still think they're going to have to take a look at the traffic flow because it's going to be problematic. and it's not going away.
I work part-time at McGee's produce stand, and that'll be more customers there.
The developers of the site say they will perform a traffic operational analysis through DelDOT to evaluate the traffic flow and safety there off Savannah Road.
Now moving to Rehoboth Beach, the city is undergoing multiple demolition projects just a few hundred feet away from each other. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Rehoboth Beach. Brandon, you are at the site of one of those demolitions.
Charlie, this used to be the site of Jam Bistro, and demolition work started here days ago, and it is still ongoing. Now, all this destruction is because of the proposed Atlantic Crown Hotel. Now, follow me towards the end of Baltimore Avenue. If you take a look just right of the new Beach Patrol station, that's where the Grottos and Sirocco Hotel are, and they're being demolished right now as well. All for the approved 1 Rehoboth Avenue Hotel. And we're going to show you those plans on your screen now. And all this demolition work will have to wrap up on May 15th because that's when the city's demolition ban starts, and it will resume in September. One couple Coast TV spoke with has seen the Grottos from day one on the boardwalk.
Ever since they opened, yeah. And we would come to the beach here and eat grotto pizza every week.
Now behind me on this corner of Baltimore Avenue, that's the Atlantic Sands Hotel. And it's the same owner as the one that's proposing the Atlantic Crown Hotel to go right here. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
Staying in Rehoboth, the city says its 911 center can now receive photos and videos from callers. Pretty cool, right? That will help dispatchers better understand what's going on. And dispatchers can also text with non-English speakers using automatic translation to improve response.
New tonight, smoke, haze, high levels of pollen. They've all been affecting people in the area for the past couple of days. These were taken earlier today. You can see the smoke along Route 113 in Georgetown, and pollen covering the windows of cars, hoods of cars, just everywhere. A pulmonologist says both smoke and pollen can be risk factors for people with asthma or COPD.
And we'll take a live look outside into Rehoboth Beach. Somebody's out there enjoying the beach as we turn it over to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams, who has been tracking both the smoke and the pollen. Paul.
And the irony is we're enjoying an absolutely gorgeous day as far as conditions are concerned, but that pollen and that smoke, yeah, we don't want that pollen or that smoke, literally or figuratively speaking. Take a look. Trees are at a high level for today. Mold are at a very high level, and that's a bad combination when you're dealing with the smoke that's actually an outpouring or a side product of what's happening throughout portions of New Jersey. So, you know, with 12,000 acres plus fired up and that smoke coming around us, we tracked it throughout the morning time. By 9 o'clock, it was actually along the most southwest corner of the county. And then around 10 o'clock, it began to go into the central and western portions of the county, where we had the heaviest amount, and really over towards the Cambridge area, where it was really more problematic, really for the folks there more than anything else. Now we're going to be concerned with the next round of rain, which actually will help us out. But we may have to hold off until Saturday for that.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. Bike safety took center stage in Bethany Beach today. E-bikes specifically. The Bike and Pedestrian Safety Committee says e-bikes are fast and dangerous. Police departments nationwide have policies for those e-bikes, so the town says a solution could go beyond them.
What I'd like to suggest is that we do another special effort there, because I think we can make a lot of progress, not just here in Bethany, but all up and down Delaware's roads.
One recommendation from a committee member was to provide police with e-bikes to be less intimidating to young e-bike users.
Each Friday, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV. It's full of features, cool things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for our Feel Good Friday newsletter at coasttv.com/signup.
And we're just getting started.
Nothing but good vibes and great dance moves in Ocean City. We take you to Springfest.
And plenty of sunshine and beautiful weather for Friday to go downhill into Saturday, but it won't be a complete washout for the weekend. My full 7-day forecast is coming up in moments.
First, protecting pets, the gear local fire crews are now getting thanks to a caring community. When we're back in just 60 seconds.
People love their pets. Many even consider them as part of the family. So when disaster strikes, one neighborhood group wants to make sure first responders have the resources they need to help every member of the household. In this week's Coastal Connections, we introduce you to the animal lovers making that mission possible.
You're a good girl. Very good. We'll do anything for treats, right?
This is Pat Halko and her poodles, Gracie and Candy. Like most pet parents, she spoils them with treats, toys, even what she calls her poodle room. And it's a love that Pat shares with her neighbors, Debbie and Jane, just a few faces from the Peninsula Lakes Animal Lovers Group.
We have donated to Brandywine SPCA, to HAP, and to the ARC monetary donations.
But their latest initiative goes beyond the basics. They're donating life-saving equipment to local fire companies, pet oxygen masks.
Each kit comes complete. There is actually a set of 3 masks, a large, a small, and a medium. They can be used on various species, as we said, dogs, cats, ferrets, birds. Some people may even have a little pygmy pig in their house or something.
The difference between a pet oxygen mask and a human oxygen mask is simply the shape of it. You can see this is the pet oxygen mask, and a dog or cat or any other kind of pet, their snout could fit in here and the oxygen would obviously come through here. Now a human mask is more of a triangle shape, and you could fit a human's nose and mouth in it.
It's something that they have if they need it. Obviously, we wouldn't want them to have to, rely on it.
But the Indian River Fire Company has had to rely on them.
Over the last year, we have had 2 instances, one in Millsboro, where there was a pet involved, and they were successful in resuscitating and bringing the dog back to a process. And the second one was also a successful event.
Indian River Fire President Patrick Miller says the masks made all the difference.
I believe they were beneficial. It certainly gives them the ability to have a better quality of air delivery to their lungs and to their body, as opposed to a nasal cannula or another device that we would have to makeshift.
Now, thanks to the Animal Lovers Group, fire departments in Lewis and Millsboro have their own sets after a recent donation and presentation from Pat and the crew.
They are the lifeline for us, and it's important to support them and give them any help that we can.
Helping those who help us and the pets we love so much. For Coastal Connections, I'm Christina DeRobertis.
We're in store for a couple of great-looking days, but there's a hidden concern in the midst of this. That's, of course, dealing with the smoke, the outpouring of the smoke that's a result of the fires that's been happening in New Jersey. But also, the pollen count and allergy count has really been elevated significantly for folks that have allergies. Particularly if you're sensitive to mold, it's really been a little difficult to breathe, no matter how sunny or bright the day has been. Our dry-tech camera, 54 degrees, clear skies by 9-10 o'clock. Now, we're in the mid-70s in places like Bridgeville, Seaford, Laurel, but we're much cooler along the beach, even a cool 60 degrees right now at the Indian River Inlet. Kind of shows you how much of a difference being close to the water can make. The winds are serving and pushing out of the southeast, gusting between 11 to 14 miles per hour, relatively light. But here's the first concern we have. Air quality has been downgraded from good to moderate. It's not dangerous at this point, but it's not as easy to breathe for folks that have chronic breathing problems. That's a concern. Now, when you take a look at live radar, we're looking pretty clear. Now, you can see we also have air quality alerts that's in effect really in the northwest corner of the Delmarva Peninsula, just shy of the Easton and Cambridge area, and they're really covering a good portion of northern and western portions of Maryland. High pressure to our south. We have rain that's still slowly moving in our direction. Now, we actually could use some rain. We have surpassed the concern for having abnormally dry or moderate drought throughout most of the peninsula, with the exception being near the Cambridge area. When you take a look at the rainfall update, we've been tracking this pretty diligently. We're about a half an inch beyond our normal amount for this time for the month. Now, for the year, we're about 2.5 inches ahead of pace. We still need additional rain in our area to stay where we need to. We have an elevated chance of rain for Friday night going into Saturday and for Saturday. Tonight, that's not the case. Tonight, we fall into the lower 50s, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Friday, excellent, mild, increasing clouds late. Saturday, scattered showers, particularly early. And then Sunday, more seasonable. Pollen count for Friday is elevated. Trees are elevated and mold very, very much on the high side. In fact, with the trees, we break it down to the main four that affect us. They are oak, ash, birch, and maple, all four at high levels. Staying in the 70s, mid to upper 70s, very warm, 75, for example, in Cambridge, 71 in Berlin. Friday, we stay clear. Saturday, we watch out for those scattered showers to push through. The latest model is showing that the rain's not looking all that impressive as far as the amount of time it's going to spend, but it will drop to an inch for us near Long Neck as well as Millsboro. So Saturday, the rain. Sunday, mostly sunny skies for the weekend outlook. And then we have much warmer conditions that will kick in Sunday, Monday, going into Tuesday. So for tonight, 50, 78 for tomorrow, 78 again for Saturday, but that's when the rain will begin to pull through with a chance of a thunderstorm. Here's a look at your extended forecast.
Paul, coming up this Friday and Saturday, head on over to the Harrington Fairgrounds for the DSN Outdoor Expo. It's a free family-friendly event. On Friday, visit from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Outdoor Expo is your one-stop shop for everything outdoors.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Today is the day, a new season of our ongoing docuseries Into the Trenches. This time, we're heading to the home of the Cape Henlopen Vikings as they embark on a new voyage into their 2024 football season. Let's take a sneak peek.
The 6-seed Vikings made it all the way to the state final game for the first time since 1984.
The late run last season and then trying to explain that we're a different team.
You got to work harder because you went to the state chip, because there's a target on your head.
I was looking to be a head coach again, but certainly didn't think this would be the move we would make.
I realized how much I didn't know about coaching when he joined here.
Understanding the stresses that these kids are under is a little bit unique for me.
The expectations are high.
We're really pushing them to be excellent.
You're going to practice the way you play.
The pain is either going to be the work you put in to win the game on Friday, or it's going to be the pain of losing.
It's tough. It's a challenge to take on. It's fun too.
We can push even further this year and hopefully make a run for it again.
Into the Trenches, a new voyage. April 24th at 7:30 on the Delmarva Sports Network and DSN+. Sponsored by Preston Automotive.
That'll for sports. Have a great night, everybody.
This is the 34th year of Springfest in Ocean City, bringing once again big crowds and a whole lot of fun. Inside, you can find hundreds of different and unique items to buy, savory foods from the classic funnel cake to homemade jelly and jams, and 2 stages that you can dance your way all this fun long on the coast for thousands of people just wanting to take part, which brings more revenue to Ocean City.
How to bring in good money. Good for the economy, good for the city. It's a wonderful time.
And Springfest runs until Sunday.
Oh, congratulations to them. In Dover right now, 72 degrees. We'll drop down to 61 with clear skies. Our umbrella giveaway winner, Anthony Baker of Millville. Congratulations. To keep up with your forecast, call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Swanton, Brockstead, Mandalas, and Federico. Now, before we show you the extended forecast, I want to remind you about our DSN Outdoors Expo. For Friday, listen, we're looking for temperatures in the 70s for Friday, 3 till 8. Now we take a look at your extended forecast.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.